Hi, everyone. This is Chaplain Jeremy Slido, and I'm stationed at Naval Support Activity South Potomac. And this is Stepping Off the Brow, a show for sailors and military-connected civilians where we look at life's issues on both sides of the ship's brow. So whether you are stepping off the brow to come to work, stepping off the brow to come home, or you are waiting for someone to step off the brow to come home to you, this show is for you. More importantly, during this time of COVID-19 and all the things about being in the Navy life, we want to introduce you to people and their stories that can give you strength for today and a bright hope for tomorrow.
Today we have the second half of our interview with Commander Chandra Newman, the commanding officer of Helicopter C Combat Squadron 5 out of Naval Station Norfolk. She's going to talk about the joys and challenges of command, particularly in the COVID environment, and how lessons from what she's learned over her time in the Navy have helped her to adjust and adapt as the commanding officer.
Now, before we get to our interview for today, we have a short segment we like to call Off the Cuff. Christina, can you remind us what Off the Cuff is?
Off the Cuff is where Chaplain Slido, or Jeremy as he likes to be called, shares little stories that he finds in the news or in his ramblings as a chaplain, and shares them off the cuff with me, and we just gauge my reaction.
All right, so our Off the Cuff today comes from Germany, and there's this great German guy who has a world record for, you're going to love this, the most body modifications. And he says he isn't finished altering his body yet. So Rolf Buchholz said his enthusiasm for body modifications didn't awaken until he got his first tattoo at age 40. So obviously for you and I, Christina, there's still hope. He started at age 40, but he soon became addicted and now has 516 body modifications, including tattoos, piercings, subdermal implants. Buchholz, fine German name, previously set the world record for most piercings when they were officially counted at 453, including 158 around his lips alone. You know, I'm going to show you a picture. Okay. All right. So, Christina, when you see that, what are your thoughts off the cuff?
I mean, as someone who started getting tattoos when she was 35, I say, you know what? As long as it makes him happy and he's not hurting anyone, if that brings him joy, then okay. But that's a lot.
I thought off the cuff, it just looks painful.
So, kind of transitioning into sort of that next thing of like, there's being a pilot going through the pipeline, you do your JO tour and then you sort of become an instructor. Is that kind of generally the path? And then you do a department head tour. And then it sort of branches out from there to whatever kind of your projection is. And so you've ended up as a CO. Have you found that what kind of got you through flight school and through all of your 19 plus year career in the Navy has kind of helped you with joys and challenges with being a CO, especially during COVID? Or
certainly, I was actually talking to my mom not too long ago. We were having a discussion that ever since growing up, if there was a tough time, a teacher at school you didn't like, or a project that you had to do, a homework assignment that you didn't like, or a tough time, a job, a high school job or a college job that I had that was particularly challenging for that boss I worked for, that coworker or whatever. There's always been this saying in my family that you can survive anything for X amount of time, right? So the idea that nothing lasts forever, and whether you move on to another stage of your life or you have a new understanding, or that other person or that object or obstacle, whatever it is, will eventually move on to, is it 2 months? Is it 8 months? Is it 12 months? But it's finite and nothing lasts forever. And so you can endure anything for any period of time. And I would say deployments fit right into that. Sometimes deployments are a really good time. You get the most amazing ports and best experiences, best challenges, whether it's operationally or with the people that you're with. But maybe there's others that are more challenging operationally or with the people that you're with that can make it time demanding. But again, it's finite. So eventually that you can survive anything for X amount of time. And if, for me, mentally being able to block off time to say, oh, this is only 4 months, or this is only 8 months, it breaks it down into a bearable thing. It's not going to be forever. Nothing lasts forever. And so it's a way of thinking that I can survive anything. It's only X months. It's only 2 years of tour. It's only fill in the blank. And so if for me, that helps me to just say, hey, this is a finite circumstance, and to attack it as such.
So now you're...
What are some joys of being a CEO?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So now you're a CEO and you've experienced all those, and now you're a CEO.
I love it. I have amazing people that are call themselves night dippers, former and current night dippers, and I can't tell you how awesome it is to see people really care about each other, work hard, and especially now in COVID, it's right now the buzz is COVID fatigue, and everybody's tired of various lockdowns, various restrictions, and things like that. For the extroverts in the house, such as myself, it's a little bit challenging when you can't get out and do your normal extroverted things. So for me, I've been fed actually by the people at work, and that's kind of kept me sane and grounded. But just that people actually care about each other, whether it's their family circumstances for COVID mitigations or their own health, and not being very conscious to not spread or open themselves up to that threat vector for the health of the squatter and the health of the job at all. I mean, during this time, we have supported the USNS Comfort in New York. We've done CQs on the Ford, on the Eisenhower. We've trained in West Virginia, and everybody's been done so well just to take care of each other, and it warms my heart to see.
What are some challenges?
COVID. I don't think nobody goes through a command training course or has expectations of command to say, what is it like to have a virus that spreads and it's the enemy you can't see, and how do you control that you can't see, you can't put your hands on, you can't combat face to face, so to speak. We came off of a 10-month deployment straight into basically a COVID environment. It's a challenge. We've got sailors I haven't been home to Alabama in 2 years, over 2 years. And we've got sailors in the same boat, whether it's because they went to boot camp, came out right on deployment, and they're still trying to build their leave bank up. And here we are in COVID, and the travel restrictions have been tough, not just for the military side, but for the civilian side too. And whether they're from big cities that are locked down, we've got sailors that are from Hawaii that can't travel to and from. That equally is that is a challenge. You see people rise to the occasion, and there's no sugarcoating the challenges of COVID. Going to a command track in 2018, nobody starts talking about a viral outbreak as one of your challenges at command, but it is. And so we learn to adapt. And again, there's some amazing people out there doing the hard work, going to sea, deploying, all in this environment, and keeping each other safe and healthy, which is pretty impressive.
Okay, so let's just say you had one of those weeks, and it's a COVID week. It's a CO's COVID week, full of joys, full of challenges. But what would you say keeps you grounded, either day to day, week to week, over the last, say, 8 months?
I think everybody has those weeks. It's not unique to command alone. For me, it's family. Keeps me grounded, and I'm a single sailor, so I don't have the family here in Norfolk. I've got them scattered out through the United States, from Washington State to Alabama and Florida on in between. And so the family piece keeps me grounded.
Okay.
We started something that we started as the women of the family, and I mean extended family too, fiancés and girlfriends too. We started a book club called Keeping It in the Family, and so every month we have a new book, and everybody basically put a book title in a kitty jar, and once a month my sister-in-law pulls out a book title, and that's the book we're reading, and then we get on a teleconference meeting just like this, and we discuss the book as well as just life and family affairs, and that never happened before COVID.
So I know that family just isn't our two-legged family members, but our four-legged family members, because they all tend to sort of pop up on these calls or these interviews. Last week we had Tyson the cat, but you have your dog Winston, correct?
I do. He's my daily grounding because basically he runs the house and tells me when he wants something. And he's 120 pounds. He can pretty much get that message across clearly.
So my question would be, since you like the nonfiction world, if Winston, named after Winston Churchill, right?
Correct.
If he was a human, based on his personality, who would he be and why?
I think Winston Churchill's a pretty accurate name. I think that's one of the challenges or threats of naming somebody, naming a pet after a formidable historical character. My best friend named her dog Mattis, and he lives up to that name as well. He's a little Shiba Inu. He's tiny, but he's formidable. So Winston Churchill is pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find him his Clementine girlfriend, but maybe one day.
We have another segment we like to call, this is the sweet and sour segment. Sweet and sour is, you gotta get into it, Dan. This is when we ask a question of our pets. So Oreo over here is the sweet, Lieutenant Dan is the sour.
Let me see if I can get Winston. Winston.
That would be awesome.
Come here. Here. Place. There we go. There's Winston.
Good heavens, look at that big baby.
Yeah, that's
not a baby.
Him.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
And I'm back here somewhere. Hi, guys.
All right, gang. All right, so sweet and sour. So the question I had in mind today, so today is November 3rd as we are recording this. This is election day, and so I had a question about, there's some folks who want to hold out and vote the day of, like today, because they're very traditional. Like, this is the day you vote the day of. Then there are those like, let's do it beforehand. So I want to ask the pets, hey, y'all, are you a vote the day of, because that's the day you do it, or, hey, just get out there, get it done, show your sticker and your selfie? What do you think, Oreo?
I like to vote the day of. So much fun to be around all the people.
All right. Lieutenant Dan?
No comment.
Winston, your thoughts?
Anything that gets people to vote.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. This has been such a good conversation to hear how you faced up, those challenges to what you had kind of been focused on and wanting to do, but how you framed that for yourself is so helpful. And then, you've now taken that approach to deployments and leadership. What? You're laughing at me. We're laughing at her.
Her dog.
The dog.
So
it's
adorable.
A very large baby.
He is.
Your dog would just snap.
He's been waiting for attention all day.
So thanks again for joining us.
Anytime, dude. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Thanks for inviting me. I hope y'all got something, a piece of material out there.
Absolutely. This is so helpful.
Our theme music is the song Josie O by Jamie Stone. The sweet and sour segment music was Baby Owls Dancing by Avita Peso. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts or guests and not the United States Navy. You can subscribe to Stepping Off the Brow wherever you find your favorite podcast. And of course, please feel free to share this with your shipmates, friends, or family. See you next week.